This just might be the greatest gaming handheld device to ever drop to date. And look, after living with the ROG Xbox Ally X for the past week or so, using it as my only gaming device, I finally understand why ASUS and Microsoft have collaborated on this. I finally understand why it costs as much as it does and why the internet is completely wrong about this being overpriced. And make sure you watch this video till the very end, because I'm gonna also mention something that nobody else is talking about that make this device an actual game changer. But today we're here to talk about the brand new device that Xbox and ASUS have dropped as a collaboration. So this past week I got to check out both the Xbox ROG Ally and the Xbox ROG Ally X, and I also clocked tons of more personal hours on my very own ROG Xbox Ally X device, putting it through its paces. I've been gaming, streaming, working, competitive play, couch sessions with this device, and even editing photos on Lightroom and Photoshop. And look, when I first saw this thing at the $999 price tag for the Ally X and $599 for the Ally, my initial reaction was probably the same as yours and many people watching this video. But then I actually used the device and everything changed. This isn't just another Steam Deck competitor. This is something completely different. And today I'm going to show you exactly why. First, let's talk about specs, because there's a massive difference between the two models that ASUS and Xbox have dropped. So what exactly are you getting for $999 with the Ally X? So firstly, you get the AMD Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme, which gives you 8 cores and 16 threads, basically doubling your processing power, versus with the Xbox Ally, you get the AMD Ryzen ZA chip, and that only has 4 cores and 8 threads. You also get AI compatibility with 50 TOPS MPU on just the Ally X, which the base model does not have. Next, you also get more RAM at 24 gigabytes versus 16 on the base model. You also get 1 terabyte of SSD on the Ally X versus 512 gigs of storage. You get a bigger battery at 80 watt hours compared to 60 watt hours, which is a 33% increase. You also get impulse triggers, which will give you more haptic feedback when you're gaming. This is going to be great if you're into like racing games and certain types of games where that feedback is really nice. And you get USB 4 with Thunderbolt 4 support. And that USB 4 port, you can actually connect an external GPU. Imagine docking this to an RTX 5090. Your portable handheld just literally became a desktop destroyer. Like, you can use this as a full-fledged desktop gaming setup. So all in all, if I gotta compare the two devices, I think the Ally X definitely has enough features to warrant an upgrade from the Ally. In my personal opinion, I think it's a solid device, and I think the upgrades are pretty good for the price that you're paying. Now, before we dive into actual performance, let's just appreciate the attention to detail here. The design on this is just so beautifully done, and even before getting into the ergonomics, like, if you see the micro printing on the palm grips and everything, you can see ROG written in like tiny text. And these are like little Easter eggs that you'll only notice if you're paying very close attention. And the vent at the back, it's not just a ROG shaped eye, it's an actual air intake. So they've definitely gone with form and function with this device. But look, the most important improvement this year, I gotta say, is ergonomics. The way this thing feels in your hand is incredible. This feels like you're basically exactly holding an Xbox controller, but a little bit wider and a screen right in the middle. The weight distribution on this thing is so good that despite this being 715 grams for the Ally X, it feels lighter than devices that actually weigh quite a bit lesser. And those Xbox inspired grips, well, they aren't just comfortable, they're smart. After like 4 hours of playing on this thing, my hands literally feel fine. Try that on the Steam Deck or even the Switch or even the older ROG Ally X, and you're gonna have hand cramps within the hour. So this is a huge win. I think they absolutely killed it with this. And the weight distribution thing, man, I gotta say, it's actually so noticeable. Like, when you're actually comparing both devices, the new one is actually heavier than this. But when I'm playing, like, this thing feels heavier, but this thing just feels lighter. Like, I could hold this for quite some time because the weight distribution is just so good. Now, here's where the Xbox's magic actually happened. Press the power button and boom, straight into Xbox. There's no Windows desktop, no startup menu, just Xbox. Windows literally doesn't even load its background processes, which makes everything so much faster. And when you hit the Xbox button again, boom, your game bar comes up with everything you need. Your games, your Steam, your Xbox, your Epic Games, Armory Crate, whatever you need. And what I absolutely love is when you open this up, you see all your games kind of just here in one app. There's no need to switch between apps and juggle different launchers and whatnot. Even the games from your Steam are pulled right into the home page here. Also, not to mention, for all of you guys out there that are still probably raging in the comments saying, oh, Steam Deck is a lot cheaper. Dude, with this, Valorant, I mean, with kernel level anti-cheat runs perfectly. Call of Duty, no problem. Fortnite with easy anti-cheat, yep, all works. Game Pass games downloaded natively on this device. Obviously, I mean, it's an Xbox device, but the Steam Deck can't run any of those without massive workarounds, and they usually half the time don't even work. There's no TPM 2.0 support, no kernel level support, no native Game Pass downloads, and when you need it, one swipe down on this gives you the full-fledged Windows 11. You want to mod Skyrim, you want to install Discord, you want to watch Netflix videos on this while you're grinding an RPG, edit a video, or even do Photoshop and Lightroom on this thing, you can do all of that. So at the end of the day, yes, the price on this is higher than a Steam Deck or any of these other handheld devices, but the flexibility on this thing is unparalleled, and that's what you're actually paying for. Now let's talk real world performance, because numbers on a spec sheet don't mean much if the experience of the actual device sucks. Now the base Ally with the Z2A chip, it's basically somewhat running like Steam Deck hardware, but running it way more efficiently. At 15 watts, it's matching what the Steam Deck needs 25 watts for. But with the Ally X and the Z2 Extreme chip, this thing is just showing off at this point. It's absolutely incredible, the frame rates and the quality that you're getting out of this thing. Whether I'm playing Red Dead Redemption, Forza Motorsport, or even Cyberpunk, like some of these are like really taxing games on the device, and I'm getting great frame rates, great playing experience out of this device. And here's a kicker. I'm actually getting 3 to 4 hours of battery life playing these games, and look, these are not just indie titles, these are full AAA level games at really good settings. The efficiency games that ROG has done with this thing are just insane. Now with Armory Crate, you get a bunch of different controls with this, and I love how it's just overlaid. For example, you can go into silent mode at 13 watts for quiet gaming sessions if you don't want to disturb anybody or let your boss know that you're playing at your cubicle. Or you have performance mode at 17 watts for balanced play, which will still give you really good battery life. Or if you want max performance, you can go to turbo at 25 watts or plug it in for 35 watts and max frame rates. This thing is quite versatile. Now let's address the one thing that I wish was different with this device. Okay, not everything is perfect. There's still a few things that I think they could have done better on this. And first and foremost, the glaring one that pops out at me is the display. Now look, don't get me wrong, this is a 1080p 120 Hertz IPS panel, and it's good. It's got 500 nits of brightness, meaning I can game outside and not have any issues. It has FreeSync Premium, which eliminates tearing, and colors are accurate. It's a quality screen. But I mean, in 2025, at this price point, I kind of want an OLED screen on this device. The Steam Deck OLED's display and even like the Switch's OLED display just pops in a way that the ROG Ally X just doesn't. Is this a deal breaker? Not really, but would OLED make this product perfect? Absolutely. Okay, next I want to quickly touch on the pricing aspect and what you can actually do with this thing. And this is where most people actually get it wrong, and they get the whole price situation of this wrong. You're not really buying a $999 handheld, because watch this. You can go ahead and plug it in and boom, this thing becomes a full-fledged PC gaming setup. I can go ahead and connect a 4K monitor, a mechanical keyboard, and a gaming mouse, and you're pretty much playing competitive Counter-Strike or even League of Legends with Riot. And here's the kicker and why I think you should probably spring for the Ally X, because if you needed more power, that USB 4 port supports external GPUs. So you can actually connect an RTX 5090 and you're absolutely killing it, like Cyberpunk at 4K with like path tracing. The possibilities with this thing are endless, and that really makes this thing future-proof. Now, if you wanted to edit photos or videos or anything of that sort, browse the internet, browse Netflix, stream a movie, you can do all of that on this device. You have full-fledged Windows on this thing, so you can actually replace your laptop. So think about what you're actually getting here. A portable gaming handheld, a gaming laptop, a desktop PC when docked, a streaming machine that you can use as like a tablet to stream stuff on, and a productivity workstation. All of that in one device that fits in your backpack. So when you break it all down, $999 for this, that's not expensive, that's value. Now, because you've watched this video this far, you've earned it. Remember the one thing I told you that nobody else is talking about that makes this device a game changer? Let's talk about that. I know some of you guys just overlook the entire AI capability portion of tech at this point, right? The moment you hear somebody say AI, and then you're like, crap, I just want to zone out and tune out. But look, this is one instance where the AI capabilities on this device will actually make your experience tenfold better. Starting early 2026, we're getting automatic super resolution using AI to basically upscale your games at the system level. Now, what this means is imagine DLSS for every single game, not just ones that actually support it. And in layman's terms, it's basically you can play at 720p but get 1080p quality and resolution with no performance hit because the NPU handles it all. So with the same quality, you're getting better performance, better frame rates, and not to mention better battery efficiency and overall better battery life. It's a huge win. So this isn't just future proof, it's future ready. Your device gets better over time. No obsolescence. Obsolete, not obsolete. Yeah. All in all, I want to conclude on my thoughts here, okay? After using both of these models and using the X extensively, here's my verdict. The ROG Xbox Ally X is pretty much close to perfect as a handheld gaming device for AAA level games that I've ever used. I wish it did have OLED, and the price may initially catch people off guard. And yes, Windows can still occasionally be Windows, but it's also the most impressive handheld I've ever used. The performance on this thing is incredible. The efficiency gains are real. The battery life and everything, and all of it has come together so well. The ergonomics on this are perfect. This is what I want a handheld to actually feel like when I'm playing a game. In fact, it's something completely different. It's the bridge between console simplicity and PC flexibility. It's a device that says you don't have to choose, you can have it all. At the end of the day, ask yourself this, GTA 6 is coming out soon. Do you want the best experience for that? Because you're gonna get that with this device. This basically becomes the one device that does everything that I need anywhere I want. And that's not expensive, that's revolutionary. But I wanna hear from you guys. Are you seeing this as just another expensive handheld or as your next everything machine? Drop a comment down below, let me know. Would love to discuss with you guys. And for you Steam Deck lurkers in the comments section, I'm sorry, life's probably more difficult for you guys because you have a choice to make now. So, okay, I'm just kidding, I love you guys all. In any case, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, check out one of these two. Take care, stay blessed, peace.